Hey, Riley, this is Marcia. You have a bit of time? What the hell are you trying to prove exactly?
Oh, hey there, Marcia. Didn't expect to hear from you. Wow, it's been a while since we last talked, huh? What are you up to?
Like I said, I'm asking you what you're trying to prove.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean? What am I up? Did I do something wrong?
Where the hell are you right now anyways?
I'm in my own apartment. Why do you ask? And what's it to you anyway?
Who are you there with?
Pardon me? Why do you want to know where I am? Oh, wait a second. I see where this is going. Oh, well, I was just gonna borrow him for a while and get a little nibble before you found out. So, you know, huh? No use denying it then. You caught me in the act. I'm with your fiancé, Jim. What can I say?
So, you steal my fiancé 1 week before the wedding. Your romantic entanglement is revealed, but you still retain this who gives a shit attitude? You're really something, Marcia.
That sounds like a compliment.
I'm headed over to your apartment right now, just so you know.
You're coming over here? Now why would you go and do that?
Oh, I forgot to mention, and your folks are with me too.
Hold it! Back up a second, would you? Are you serious? My folks! What are they doing here? On! What's the big deal? You're blowing it all out of proportion. You're my childhood friend. I later learned that Jim's the next president of the company, so I just want to get a taste of it. That's all.
That's going to be one expensive little snack then, because I'm going to have you guys pay compensation for this.
Wait, what? I can't believe I'm hearing this. You're going to sue us for money?
Yes, that's right. And the wedding that was ultimately canceled? Yeah, you guys are paying for all that too. Every penny.
Are you serious, Marcia? I mean, suing you, old friend? Come on. What is this?
You wanted to have a little taste of my fiancé, right? I just want you to pay for the little flavor test, that's all. You even have the chance to experience the consequences of your actions, so I really hope it was all worth it.
Back up a bit, Marcia. You're planning to get money out of me? You do know I'm not super rich or anything, right?
It doesn't matter if you're engaged or married, you can still claim damages. That's what I intend to do.
Are you for real? How can you do that to a dear friend?
Like I told you yesterday, my lawyer will handle the rest of the legal stuff. So he'll be contacting you about the details. Don't even think about running away, Riley. It'll just make things worse for you.
Hey, Marcia, you there? If you are, I need to talk. So come on, pick up! I've thought long and hard about this, and I don't want to nullify our engagement. I still want to marry you. I do love you, you know that.
Is that you, Jim? I thought you were long gone from my life. What do you want? And do you realize what time it is? It's 2 a.m. for God's sake.
I said I want to marry you, Marcia. I mean it this time.
It's a bit late for that, don't you think? You should have thought about it long and hard like months ago. I thought we agreed. The engagement and wedding has been terminated. We all agreed through our lawyers, didn't we? We contacted all our friends and relatives about this regrettable incident. Get it through your thick head, Jim. Just call it a day and let's go our separate ways.
I wasn't myself. It was just some knee-jerk reaction, that's all. Give me another chance. You know Riley, right? She's glamorous and sexy, very hard to resist.
On top of that, she's your childhood friend. So, you know, it was all so sudden and irresistible. I was getting married in a week. I just wanted one last taste before taking the plunge, nothing more. You know what, Jim? You sound like a total pervert.
Pervert? How could you say that about your fiancé?
Whose fiancé you're talking about? That ship left a long time ago.
Like I said, I just wanted to try a different flavor. You can understand that, right? I mean, I'm still young.
Like ice cream, huh? How many flavors did you want to try? You guys were in and out of that motel for the past 3 months. That's a whole lot of flavors to enjoy. You must have tried all 31 flavors twice over.
Come on, Marcia, please give me another chance, would ya? I was, like I said, trying out another...
You're really starting to sound totally pathetic, Jim. All I want from you is for you to pay what's owed, and after that you can have all the ice cream you want.
I don't want ice cream, Marcia. I want you. Please, Marcia.
Hey, Marcia, I finished depositing the money your lawyer demanded. You really left me broke, you know that? I can't believe you. Do you realize that all my savings, it's gone? Not a cent left in my name for your information. I had to borrow some money from a neighbor to get tomorrow's wedding. This is all your fault. You better be ready to introduce me to some of Jim's rich buddies. I'm counting on you. I'm going to get totally decked out for tomorrow's wedding. Drop dead gorgeous. That's me. I'm not kidding, Marcia. You better make up for this. Marcia, what the hell is going on here? Pick up for God's sake. Come on, answer me, would you? What's taking you so long, for God's sake? I just got here to the wedding hall and this place is empty. Where are all the guests? The place looks like it's closed. Where the hell is everyone?
Wait a second. Wedding hall? What are you talking about?
The ceremony starts at 2 p.m., right? Shouldn't there be people arriving? I was expecting cars up and down the driveway. What's up with this, Marcia? The place is not only empty, nobody is even getting things ready. What's going on here? Is this even the right place? I just asked the girl at the reception desk and she tells me that there are no weddings scheduled for today. Is this some kind of joke? You're pulling a prank on me, right? Well, it isn't funny at all, Marcia. I got the invitation from you and it clearly indicates this hotel. It even has the address on the back. You sent this to me.
Riley? Are you okay? I can't believe you're even there.
Oh, I get it. I get what you're trying to do. That's it. Don't tell me that you guys changed the venue at the last minute. Why didn't you say something? You could have texted me at least. Everyone's over there, right? Leaving me here all alone. You sure pulled a fast one on me, Marcia. How could you? How could you trick your old school chum? Bet you guys are laughing your asses off over there at wherever you guys are. Just because I had a little taste of your precious fiancé? Don't be so resentful. This is how you treat an old friend, is that it?
That wedding was canceled, like last week. Didn't you get the notice?
Pardon me? You're pulling my leg, right?
I don't get why you think I'm resentful. I'm way past that. And this is no prank or joke. I wouldn't do that. Do you really think I was gonna marry a guy that cheated on me 1 week before the wedding? Are you serious? You may think all this is trivial, but I couldn't live with it. Just couldn't. I mean, when is he gonna have a craving for ice cream down the line, right?
What's ice cream got to do with anything? Anyway, are you saying that you're not gonna marry Jim?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Are you nuts? I came all the way here today. I was all ready to meet all his rich friends today. What a total disaster. This is not happening. Why did you even cancel so late in the game? You're really something, Marcia. You've really done it this time. Why did I even pay that money to you? What do I get out of it now? I thought I could get it all back after you introduced me to a super rich guy. A guy that would sweep me off my feet. And he's gonna pay for this new dress, for my hair and jewelry. Not to mention transportation costs. I'm broke as it is. You're paying for it all. You do realize that, don't you?
Are you finished, for God's sake? I was getting worried you weren't going to stop. Just shut up and listen for a second, would you? I sent out letters to everyone that the wedding has been canceled. I did it right after I found out about you two. I made sure I sent you one. After all, you two were the reason I canceled this wedding.
Are you serious? What's the matter with you, Marcia? You said the consequences of this was that I had to pay you off. and I did just that. So why cancel the wedding for Pete's sake? My paying you off should have put an end to it all, and you could have gone on with your life and your wedding.
Yeah, that seems all well and good for all intents and purposes, but in reality...
Reality? What the hell are you saying?
Ever since we were kids, you were always impervious when it comes to people's feelings.
You're talking gibberish again, Marcia.
That money you paid was not only your admission of guilt, but also remittance for the emotional damage you caused. It's not only about the money, Riley. Can't you understand that?
Yeah, I understand.
And another thing, it also means you will never interact with me again.
Pardon me?
Of course, it's not as if all these rules are etched in stone. As a matter of fact, some people reconcile or are given another chance. Some make up and get married and live happily ever after. Sure, there are all kinds of folks, but that's only when the victim, that would be me, agrees, and only then. Simply put, as the victim, I have all the rights here. I'm the only one that can determine whether I forgive someone or not forgive, and whether there is a chance of reconciliation. I make that choice, not you.
I have a bit of say, don't I? I mean, think about it.
No, you have zero say, Riley. I have sole discretion in this. I'm sorry to be blunt, but you have absolutely zero say in any of this. My emotional pain may not subside for years to come because of what you did, but the money you paid lessens that pain. What I will not accept are people that betrayed me. I don't care if they are family or childhood friends. My dreams were shattered when you and Jim had your little romp. I had to start over again. You did this. Riley, I'm sorry to say this, but our friendship is over.
Right. Does that mean you and,
As long as you understand, that's all I want to know.
Yeah, alright, I understand. That's what you want to hear, right? But hold on a second. What you're saying, does that mean if I got back together with Jim, started dating him again, and maybe married him, you wouldn't interfere or care what happens, is what I'm hearing.
After all that, that's a response I get? Like I said, you really are something, Riley.
So what about it? Is that what you're saying? Give me a straight answer. No more of this pussyfooting around.
We haven't talked about that at all. We cut all ties. I don't want anything to do with him anymore. So yeah, do as you like. It doesn't concern me. You can keep him for all I care.
Oh my god, seriously? Thank you!
You are beyond redemption, Riley.
Hey Marcia, are you sitting down? I think you should sit down before I continue. I've got something important to tell you. Are you ready for it? Me and Jim, we just got married! We tied the knot!
I thought we agreed not to contact each other. I don't need this now. Just go about your business, would you? Just leave me out of it. I'm done with you guys.
What can I say? I had to tell you this piece of fantastic news, Marcia. I'm super happy. My dream has come true, finally! My folks don't want anything to do with me, but I'm super happy and that's what matters, right? You're looking at the wife of the next company president. I finally made it! The life of a celeb awaits me. This is what I've always dreamed of. Glad you're sitting down, huh? I bet you're seething with envy right about now.
Right. I don't know how many times I've said this, but you really are something, Riley.
Why didn't you tell me that Jim was unemployed? He's out of a job. That means he has zero income. Did you know about this?
Last time you texted me, it sure didn't seem you're aware of it. I didn't think that was my place to tell you. Besides, I don't have anything to do with him. He's a total stranger, and so are you.
Are you saying you knew about this all this time? Are you serious?
Yeah, I guess I did. After I terminated the engagement, someone told me all about it. Apparently, the company found out he was making money on the side. He was apparently involved in some kind of double-dealing business with a foreign subsidiary. But there was never really any hard evidence to get him fired, but everyone knew what was going on. and that he was definitely involved. He continued going to the office in the same position, and all but evidently, he couldn't handle all the finger-pointing and accusations about his wrongdoing, and he ended up resigning. At least that was what was heard from his coworkers. His parents were furious and wanted nothing to do with him. After that, he apparently swindled them out of a fortune over the years too.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner? You could have at least texted me. Why'd you leave me in the dark about this?
I thought you knew all about it. After all, you married him.
You could have at least made sure I knew, for God's sake. I mean, didn't you think it was important? Something that maybe I should know about?
Don't you remember, Riley? We're no longer friends. We nicked that in the bud a long time ago. I have zero obligation to help you. Get that through your head.
We may no longer be friends, but we've known each other since we were kids. Doesn't that count for anything?
You still think we're like 5 years old or something? It was different then. We were just kids. We're adults now. At least I am. I can discern who's a true friend and who's not.
How could you say that, Marcia? When did you become so cold-hearted? You used to be so kind and such a nice person.
If you're so upset about all of this, then just divorce the guy. File a divorce application like I did and dump the guy.
He recently submitted some kind of application. They call it non-acceptance of divorce or something or other. I couldn't understand the application form he brought home and showed me. Anyway, he made me sign an application and now I can't divorce him. What the hell am I supposed to do?
Yeah, sounds like something Jim would do. He's always been kind of sneaky like that. I'm afraid you're stuck with him, Riley.
Enough about him. We need to do something. Think of something, please. You owe me that much. I gotta get out of this mess.
I don't owe you anything, Riley. I think I'm ready to block you from my Line app. All my troubles would disappear if I toggle this little button. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it.
Come on, Marcia, please. Don't leave me like this. You have to help me.
Sorry, but gotta do it. There's nothing I can do for you. You dug yourself into this hole. Figure it out for yourself. Please, don't try to contact me ever again.
Please, Jim. I need you to accept my divorce. Please.
No way, you're not leaving me! You're stuck with me for eternity, my dear! Even my parents abandoned me. They wanted nothing to do with me. I also had to quit my job. All those accusations, like I was some kind of criminal. All the money I made for that company, and this is what I get in return? And most devastating, I lost Marcia, the love of my life. There will never be another woman like her. I loved her. I lost everything I cherished because of you, Riley. You came to me, begging me to marry you. You do remember that, don't you? You said you would do anything for me. You would not give up. That's why I relented and opened my arms to you, and now you want a divorce?
But what was I supposed to do? I didn't think you're unemployed. I was willing to do anything for you if I was to be the CEO's wife. That's all I wanted. What am I gonna do now? Do I have to work now? I have no skill. What am I gonna do? If I knew you had resigned, I would never have married you.
You really got nerve saying that to me. You said you loved me with all your heart. That's what you said. To hell with that. I already submitted those papers. You're mine now. You're not going anywhere. You're stuck with me for eternity. You're just an airhead, but you have the looks and body to bring in some real cash. I'm sure you're already at the nightclub I introduced you to. Be nice to the customers and they'll tip you big time, huh? And don't you dare think of running away. I know the owner. He's an old high school buddy of mine. Childhood friends, you can say. You don't want to get on his bad side. He was one bad dude back in school.
Do I really have to work here? Please, I'll do other work. Just not here. I don't feel safe here. That supermarket near our place was looking for cashiers.
Are you kidding me? That place is like $10 an hour. You can make 100 times that working there. Just swing your butt around and you'll snag a big fish and the tips will come rolling in. This is payback for ruining my life. You're gonna work till you drop, so stop blabbering nonsense and get to work!
Please, Jim, forgive me! Please, I can't do this! I beg of you!
Sometime later, I heard from a close friend that she sees Riley every now and again walking downtown, mostly at night. She seems to be with a different guy every time, and dressed sort of flashy. There are rumors that she's working at some kind of nightclub in the red light district of town. And these are her clients or something, not something I know much about. It all seems so seedy that I really didn't want to hear the details, so I preferred not to ask. Everyone seemed sensitive toward me regarding this issue for obvious reasons. After all, most of my friends know the whole story. They were all invited to the wedding. They had met Jim on various occasions, so they try to avoid the subject as much as possible, at least when I'm around. When I'm not around, it's talked about all the time. Oh, well, people like to gossip, don't they? And it's kind of a juicy and irresistible topic, don't you agree? I have no idea what those two are up to now. But I did hear one little incident that happened some time back. Apparently she was so frustrated with their ever-accumulating debt that he had managed to build that she actually bit him. I mean, bit him like a dog would. That didn't go down well with him, as you can imagine, and he went totally berserk and totaled the apartment they were living at. Smashed a huge hole in the apartment wall. Some witness at the scene saw them taken away in a black van after that. I heard rumors about such a black van. They take care of problems like this. A bit mysterious. That's the last I heard about those two, and I hope I never hear about them again.
Hi, Ava. Aren't you going to come home yet? It's almost time for dinner. I'm sure your daughter Dora wants to have dinner with her mother as well.
Huh? Are you trying to make me come home by bringing up Dora? That's called bullying your son's wife. You need to respect me more because I'm being kind enough to let you live with us.
I don't really need you to live with me, though.
I guess so, because you don't have any illnesses and are still of the age where you can still work just fine.
If you understand, then would you please stop making me take care of Dora for you all the time?
What?
It's always me, her grandmother, who sends her off and picks her up from kindergarten. She spends most of her time at home with me as well.
Of course she does, because I'm asking you to take care of her.
That's not what I'm trying to say. Her father usually comes home by 5 in the evening, but you always come home after Dora's already gone to bed. Don't you think that not spending time with your 5-year-old daughter could be a bad thing for your relationship with her in the future? Not only that, but I don't know where you go off to from morning till dusk, but it seems that you're spending a ton of money.
What? You have no right to call me out on that. Speaking of which, I'm actually very busy. I can't come home yet, so make sure Dora takes a bath, eats dinner, and goes right to bed, all right?
Huh? Hold on. Just what time do you intend on coming home? Tell me that at least.
I don't know.
Ava!
I'll end the conversation here then.
Jesus, will you please stop messing around?
Hi, Mrs. Tate. Are you home yet? You have it so easy going on a trip 3 days with your second son's family.
The main purpose of the trip was to do an interview for work, and I only brought my second son's family because they also had something to do with work.
An interview? That doesn't make sense. So, are you home yet?
Yes, we just reached the front door.
Go to your room immediately.
Huh? All my stuff is gone, and in its place is this supposed to be a child's room?
That room is going to be Dora's room from now on, so leave the house, will you?
What? Me? You're telling me to leave the house?
Yes, I am. Do I have to repeat myself?
Where did you put all my stuff?
I threw it all away.
You threw it away? Even my computer and printer?
Of course. Those are just your toys, right? It doesn't make sense for me not to throw them away.
I use those for work. What have you done? What are you talking about? You don't even have a job, right? Huh? You see, Mrs. Tate, have you noticed that it's been 3 years since we started living with you? I don't know the exact amount of days, but I remember around 3 years ago today my son Desmond suddenly brought you and Dora to my house and said, "Please let us live with you." Huh? What do you mean, let us live with you? Don't you mean that we offered to live with you? What? The company Desmond worked at suddenly went bankrupt, and he could no longer support the family, so you three would live with me until he found another job. Was the situation right? Huh? Ew! You're so delusional. The only reason Desmond changed jobs was because he found a better paying one. It also just happens to be that his new office was near your house, so we were kind enough to move in with you. But even after that, you show us this huge attitude all the time, even though you're just a parasite that depends on Desmond to get by. It really touches on my nerves, you know? Don't you realize I'm giving you a job to do by making you take care of Dora as a way to repay what we're doing for you? That's why I finally decided to exercise my authority as the oldest son's wife and take your room away from you. This is to show you how lucky you were that Desmond offered for us to move in with you. The parasite's garbage needed to be cleaned up, you know, and finally leave. What are you going to do about Dora? Is there someone else that's going to take care of her? I'm going to invite my mother to live with us from now on. So, there aren't any problems regarding that. Actually, she's already here. By the way, the guest room is now my mother's room. Is that so? I'll say it one more time. Parasitic trash like you needs to be cleaned up and thrown away. Please just hurry up and leave. I understand. I'll clean up, all right? Oh, look at her now. You're going to clean yourself up, the garbage, by yourself? I mean, go ahead. There's one last thing I want to tell you, though. You've barely spoken to Desmond these past 3 years, right? So what if I haven't? I heard that whenever Desmond tries to find time for the two of you to talk, you always brush it off and ignore him. You should realize that by kicking me out, you've made your position a very dangerous one. Huh? Well then, I'll be seeing you at a later date. Mrs. Tate! Is it seriously true that this house used to be your parents' house and you've been the owner since you inherited it 10 years ago? And that when you were on the computer, you weren't playing games, but actually working as a freelance worker? And that Desmond has been trying and failing to get a job these past 3 years? Which is why you've been paying for our living expenses all this time? Yes, it's true. You've got something wrong with Desmond, though. It's not that he hasn't been working at all these past 3 years. He found a job at a temp agency and worked as a temporary employee for a while, but the pay was so low that he couldn't possibly support his family with it, which is when he noticed that he has no skills that would make him attractive in the job market. That's when he decided to get a national license and quit his job at the temp agency, and he started studying while working part-time. Thankfully, he was able to pass the exam. He was able to find a new job immediately thanks to his new qualifications, but, to his dismay, that company also went bankrupt 3 months later. Huh. Just yesterday, though, he was finally able to have some good luck. A friend of his who started his own business contacted him saying he was looking for someone with the exact same qualifications Desmond had, and so he hired Desmond. A few days earlier, Desmond told me that he was finally able to get a job that paid well. I gave a sigh of relief at that, but now for some reason, I've been kicked out of my own home by his wife. No way. This is the first I'm hearing this. I told you yesterday, but Desmond would always try and find time to talk to you, but you would always just ignore him, saying that it was a hassle. I do think that me and Desmond are partly to blame for what happened, though, since we always just let you get away with it. By the way, how's Dora?
She keeps asking me where her grandmother is. Even though my mother is also her grandmother, Dora won't listen to a word she says. She just barely listens to what her father Desmond says.
I told you that not spending any time with Dora, who's only 5 years old, might negatively affect your relationship with her in the future, right? It seems that that's what's happened.
But then what are you saying I should do? I have no idea what to do with Dora. Mrs. Tate, what is this invoice you sent me? I don't have $100,000. I'm just a housewife.
But that's the money you owe me for breaking the tools I need for work. It's the computer and the printer you called my toys. $100,000 is probably cheaper than what it's actually worth. Luckily, the data I was currently working on was backed up. But since my computer was thrown away, I'm no longer able to meet my deadlines. Desmond offered to pay for it, but I refused his offer.
Why?
If someone bails you out of this situation, this wouldn't have taught you a lesson. By the way, both your mother and your father, who's currently abroad on a business trip, agreed to making you pay for the damages. I always wondered what you were doing while you were off somewhere, making me take care of Dora for you. Apparently, you were always at your parents' house in the neighboring town and just laid around looking at shopping catalogs. I thought I would tell you because of your excuse of me bullying you is not going to work with your parents anymore.
No way. I was divorced. Desmond let me off without making me pay an alimony, but he says I have to pay him child support every month from now on. I regret what I did, so why don't we just forget all about this? I oppose us divorcing.
But didn't you sign the divorce papers yourself?
I only did so because Desmond pressured me to. Please convince Desmond to get back together with me. Have a bit of sympathy for me.
Well, I do understand why you people don't want to get divorced. You probably would have divorced Desmond without a second thought, though, if he was unemployed like he used to be. But now he's found a new job for sure this time, and he's going to be earning as much as he used to 3 years ago.
I know that.
Thinking of divorcing a woman who sees my son only as an ATM is the right choice. Which is why I have no intention of helping you.
But, fine. If it's come to this, then I'm not going to leave this house no matter what you do. I'll consider leaving if you let me get back together with Desmond and forget about the $100,000, though.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I've already sold that house.
You sold it?
I mean, it's already 70 years old. It doesn't look like it, but it's already falling apart in some places. I was debating whether to reform it or to sell it, but I decided selling it would be a better decision for me.
No way! My mom's telling me not to come home.
I'll give you until the end of this month, so hurry up and prepare to leave, all right?
I have nowhere else to go. Why is no one helping me?
I decided not to help Ava in any way except for giving her time until the end of the month to move out. It seems that she interpreted what I told her in a different way, though, since it didn't look like she had packed her stuff even when it was the night before she was supposed to leave. Desmond, who had finally had enough, forcefully threw her out of the house after noon that next day, since she refused to leave. Of course, I couldn't let Dora see her parents like this, so I handed her over to my second son's house, where I'm also temporarily staying. Desmond was able to get custody of Dora, so it seems that I'm going to be helping him take care of her at my new house we're moving into next week. As for Ava, who is now on her own, apparently she was able to find a job that came with housing. She got into trouble with the other employees on the first day, though, and since she can't just quit, she now spends every day being treated coldly by her fellow employees, always working on the verge of tears.